Okay, guys, so we're up to week 5. That's 10, but 5. Week 5. Week 5, and as we're up to week 5, we're making our move from fiction to poetry. Now, I can't hear the groans, but I'm sure there are a few out there. If you haven't read up on me or I haven't told you yet, I have a master's in poetry. I write poetry. I've published poetry. I love poetry. So I'm hoping that some of the poetry that I've given you, you can connect with, that you can have an experience with, and you can see it in a new and different way. That being said, you have just finished up your papers. You just finished up your first literary analysis papers, and this is kind of a week that we can hopefully give you a little bit of a break for a little bit. But it's only for a little bit because, like we said, it's already week 5 and we only have 8 weeks. So it's going to be a kind of a fast pace. There are 2 analysis papers with the poetry section. Poems, though, beautiful as they are also very short, which allows us the opportunity to be able to write about them quicker and in a more pleasant way. If I were you, I would recommend that you stick with the Barta. I think with the Barta, you'll be able to take your own experiences, even if they're negative, and be able to attach them to the meanings of these poems. Small poems, your own personal attachments, gives you a lot to be able to write about with a very little bit of time to be able to accomplish it. That being said, one of the poems that I want to make sure that you read first, if not the first poem that you read, is the Introduction to Poetry by Billy Collins. This poem is a great poem. It's one of my favorites, one of my favorite poets, a modern poet. He's still alive. He's a contemporary poet. He was once the Poet Laureate of the United States. And this allows us the opportunity, when you read through this, to see the errors that we can make when we look at poetry. The idea here is that the student, this would be you in this case, the student wants to know everything that the poem will tell it. And the poem doesn't always tell you everything. You can't always get the meaning out of the poem, so don't try to beat it out of the poem, as the poem by Collins tells you, but try to just skate over the top of it. Experience the poem, love the poem, see the poem, read the poem, give it to others. Anything you can do to be able to try to experience in a pure and raw way, and therefore be able to give your own meaning to it afterwards. That being said, what we need to learn is a couple of things here, right? As T.S. Eliot once told us, genuine poetry can communicate before it is understood. You do not have to understand it before it can communicate for you. And poetry is communication. It is an experience. It's a feeling. It is life. And if we take what T.S. Eliot at his word, poetry is able to give us much more than we will fully understand. What is the poet trying hard to say? To be able to find this, we need to play by a few rules. We must give poetry a chance. Even if you hate it, and there are going to be a couple of you that do, even if you don't want to tell me, I understand, but I know a few of you will. Give it a chance. We must not assign value to what we read. Everything needs to just be taken on the surface, good or bad, beautiful or ugly, take it on the surface, no values added. We must read and read again. Just like when we have conversations, we have to go through ideas again and again to maybe get our point across. Just with poetry, we have to read again and again to be able to pull fully from it everything that there is there. We must experience the poem, and we must not look too hard at the author. Why? Because as we learned from the Barta, which is the lens through which we're going to try to see our entire experience this semester, is that we, as the reader, have the opportunity to be able to experience and give our meaning to the writing. So, I want to wish you the best of luck on this. I want to tell you that I'm always available by text, by email, however you want to get a hold of me, always there for you. Good luck as you're finishing up your papers tonight. I look forward to reading those, and I'll get those back to you with grades as soon as humanly possible. And I look forward to what you're able to write with these couple of papers that are going to be due out of the poetry section. They're going to come fast and furious, so please jump right on board here. I would start your reading of the poetry section as soon as you get done with this paper tonight, and I would get right on top of using the Barta, which you don't have to. You can always find your own literary analysis lens through which to talk about these, but the Barta is just an easier lens that is able to look through these at the moment, mostly because you already know it. It's already there. It's already given to you. But enjoy it. Really do try to enjoy it. It's a quick read, it's a fast read, and it's a lovely read. I've picked some of my favorite poems to be able to give you a broad idea of American poetry and poetry in general, so please enjoy, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you out. Have a great week.